Hello, hello. This is Quality Life Coach for Women 50 and over and the creator of Flourish. How are you? How's it going? If you're on, just send me a message, send me some hearts or something, or just say, hey, you're here. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you can hear me. So, today we're going to be talking about the main reason why you're not accomplishing your goals. Now, and this is mostly for women 50 and over, but this can apply to anyone, quite frankly. It could apply to anyone. And my goal is really, I want everyone that comes in contact with me to know what it feels like to pursue your dreams and your goals. It's an indescribable feeling. And I really want everyone to be able to experience that because I just think that you're missing out when you don't. I really feel that. I really feel that you're missing out when you don't do that. I really believe that we all have dreams and desires within us. We always get that nudge, like, I want to do something. No, but most of the time, sometimes we decide to act on it, and sometimes we're like, I won't do that. But I truly believe that when you step into your purpose and passion and you start, just going for it, unbelievable, indescribable. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this. Like, why are you choosing to do nothing to pursue your goals? Like, why are you choosing that as an option for you? Like, why? Why would you even consider that as an option? But you listen, I want to share with you why most people don't go after their purpose and passion. But before I do that, I want to share with you what happened to me when I wrote my book. So, this is my book, 50 Questions to Answer When You Reach 50. And I wrote this book because I really wanted to give women an opportunity to fall in love with themselves one question at a time. And I was really excited about writing the book. So I wrote it in 2020 or 2020. So I wrote it in 2020. And I was really excited. I had all the questions and everything because I really wanted to empower women. And most importantly, I wanted to empower women so that we could be an example for the next generation, so that we could be an example of what's possible. So when they see us, they're like, wow, these women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s doing all of this, they can say, wow, you know what? I want to be part of that too. So I wrote the book. While writing the book, there were a few things that came, that happened along the way. First of all, we moved. So ended up moving. So that kind of, derailed me a little bit because my goal was I was going to finish it by December. That was my goal. I was going to finish this book by December. And so we moved in November. So that kind of pushed back my, date for finishing completion. And then I got COVID in December. So November I moved, December I got COVID, and COVID got me down for 10 days, people. This was not this variant, Delta. And one thing I noticed was when we talk about chronic fatigue, I'm telling you, like, if you know me, I am like up and about. Like I get up like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock p.m., I'm ready to call it a night, but I can keep on going. But I noticed I was tired. And that's how I actually knew I had COVID. So it sent me for like 10 days. And then January came around. I was like, okay, I'm going to finish this book. January came around. And guess what happened? My companion, whoever, he's with me when I'm writing my book. My dog Shadow passed away. Shadow was really like my shadow. Shadow followed me everywhere. Shadow passed away on January 2nd. And so I'm going to be honest with you, all those just kind of, that one was the hardest one. The other two, I was kind of able. When Shadow passed away, I was out. Like, I was out for a few days. I could not do anything. Like, I was in bed. And if you don't have a pet, that you probably won't get it because I would never have understood this, but I was out. So anyway, it took me longer than I had planned. But one thing I was determined not to let any of these things stop me from getting to my goal. And so I ended up completing the book, but I completed months after the date I had planned. And so when I finished writing the book, I was all excited. I'm like, yes, I've created the book, sent it to my publisher. She now told me, okay, you know what, we're going to put it on Amazon, on all these different places. And so by the time everything was completed and we did we were doing the proofreading, doing all of that and, the cover and all that. So by the time it was done, by the time it was completed, I think it was probably June 15th. And she was like, okay, everything's live now, June 15th. You can now order, you can publish, you can, market, you could, just kind of announce that your book is available. Guess what happened? I didn't say a word. She told me this, and all of a sudden, I just did not have the courage to actually tell people I had written a book. None. I did not have the courage. And so this book is sitting out there on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all these different online places. I didn't have my book. And a couple of weeks after that, my publisher reached out to me and she said, Kwavi, I would love for your book to be in our book fair. Are you interested? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, you have to read the book. Just read the book, do a videotape yourself reading the book, and then send it in. And I said, I don't have my book. She's like, you don't have your book? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why don't you have your book? And I'm like, huh? And my question was, I don't know. And if you know me, that is one answer that doesn't fly. I tell my clients all the time, do not say I don't know, because you do have a response. I don't know is not a response. And I said, and then she said, okay, why did you write the book? And as soon as she said that, it clicked. I'm like, I know why I wrote this. I wrote this book because I wanted women to fall in love with themselves. I wrote this book because I wanted to show women what's possible for them. I wrote this book because I want women to read this book and be an example for the younger generation. I kept going, and then I'm like, this book is not about me. I want to take myself out of the equation because I was stopping myself. I was getting in the way of me getting this book out to the masses, getting this book out to, impact other women. I was getting in the way. And so after that, I was like, nope. And it's like right after that, I started talking about my book. I started doing live streams, on Instagram, YouTube. I said, but guess what? Before then, nothing. And I would say that my book was actually out for a month before I said anything. I didn't even tell my husband. I didn't tell my boys. I didn't tell anyone. So it was interesting, right? Because what happened to me was I just didn't have the courage. But most importantly, you know why I didn't put it out there? I was worried about people criticizing me. I was worried about how I would feel. And so I want to kind of transition into the reason why I'm coming on today. The reason why you're not accomplishing your goals, you know why? Is because you don't want to feel. Because you know what happens? Most time people say, oh, their fear of, failure, or they might be worried, people might say. Guess what all those things are? The commonality amongst all those things is the feeling. You're trying to avoid a feeling, so you're not putting yourself out there. The feeling might be maybe you feel shame, maybe you feel embarrassed, maybe just fear. But all of this, the commonality of all these things is an emotion. You don't want to feel an emotion. But guess what, though? It's just an emotion. Like, what is the worst thing that happens when you feel an emotion? You just feel it, right? That's the worst thing. I mean, think about it. What is the worst thing that can happen to you when you're going after your goals that can change your life? And then you're using an emotion as a reason not to go after your goals. Like, why? I mean, think about that. Just know that is going to happen, because sometimes what happens is we don't want to go after our goals because we don't know what to expect. Why don't you just have the expectation that you're going to feel something, whatever it is, and just go with that? Because that's the worst thing that can happen. You're going to feel something. That's the worst thing that can happen, right? It could be maybe failure, fear of, embarrassment, fear of, shame, just whatever feeling, whatever feeling. It's just a feeling. It's just an emotion. And the last time I checked, I am yet to see the news headlines with, oh, woman dies of, a failure. Woman dies of shame. Woman dies of embarrassment. We don't die. We will not die from an emotion. It's uncomfortable. And that's what you have to get comfortable with. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable when you're going after your goals. And the beautiful thing about going after your goals is you can't fail. I'm just telling you, you know why? Because in the process of growing and doing all those steps, you're learning. You're becoming a different person. So even if it doesn't work out according to what you expect, guess what? You have grown in a different way. You have learned tools that you didn't know before you started the process. And for me, that's growth. I mean, how can you feel when you look at it from that standpoint? And now you have framework. Like, okay, you did it this way. Maybe the outcome wasn't what you expected, but now you have something to go by. You now have a decision to make. Do I want to do this again and tweak it? Or or you're like, no, this is not for me? Or are there some things, or do you need to get some people to help you? You now have something to work with. But if you don't start it at all, you have nothing. You have nothing. But and sometimes we come up with things like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Why are you choosing to think that? Why are you choosing to think that it won't work out? Why aren't you choosing to think, you know what, I am going to figure this out? Yeah, maybe it might not work out, but guess what? Now you have something to work with. And I'll tell you this, when you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm coming to the end of my life, there is one thing you won't regret. That is one, because I know for a lot of us, we don't want to have regrets at the end of our lives. So, guess what you have to do? You have to step in and make a decision to do those things to get to your goal. Every single person on this planet has dreams and desires. Some act on them, some don't. What are you going to do? Are you going to decide, I'm not going to do nothing? Like, why are you choosing not to do anything with your goals? Why are you choosing not to act on those goals, those nudges? Because we all get the nudges. We all get the nudges. Oh, something, you want to do something. We all have them. Why are you choosing just to settle? It is, I mean, the feeling when you accomplish your goal is priceless. And regardless of whether it's exactly what you expect, just the feeling of, taking those steps towards it, priceless. Like, why are you choosing not to do that? Like, really? Like, I am on a mission to empower women to see the options available to them when they go after their goals, especially if you're 50 and over. I mean, I think that, first of all, we have so much knowledge at this point. Regardless of what you've done in the past, you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom at this point. So why are you choosing not to birth your goals and desires out into the world when you have all this experience and this knowledge? Like, why not? You have an opportunity, an amazing opportunity. And the feeling, the people that you can impact with your desires and dreams, priceless. So why are you choosing not to do that? Like, why are you choosing just to be like, okay, I'm not going to do it? Especially when you want it, just because of a feeling. And that's why I want to really like explain this to you. But the worst that's going to happen is you're going to feel an emotion. Like, that is the worst thing that can happen. That's the worst thing that can happen. You're going to feel an emotion. But think about on the other side, like once you go through this, what's on the other side for you, and how you will grow as an individual, like who you'll become when you do that. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing. And so I wanted to come on and share this with you because there are so many of you I see. It's almost like you're sleepwalking through life. Like life is just passing you by. Like, why are you choosing to allow life just pass you by? Why are you choosing to just be like, okay, whatever? And I know that you have more inside of you. There's a part of you that wants to do more, but you don't know how to step into it. And so for those of you who really want more, because I know there are some of you that are like, okay, this is not for me. I'm okay. I'm good. That's fine. This message is not for you. This message is for those of you that have that nudge that keeps on coming back. You push it down, you suppress it, but it keeps coming back, keeps coming back. Listen, what is suppressed needs to be addressed. That's what my friend, Coach Renee tells me. And it's true. Whatever is suppressed needs to be addressed. You keep pushing that nudge down and you're like, oh, no, not today, not today. When? The time is now. The time is now for you to just step into your purpose and passion. Rediscover it if you don't know what it is, and step into it and really go after your goals. And the feeling, I'm telling you, you're going to wake up in the morning like, what is happening? You're so excited because you now have something to work towards. For a lot of you right now, you feel, and I get this from, prospective clients, they come to me and they say, I want more, but I don't know what it is. It's like you feel like life is just passing you by. Like, what else? What is new? What is next? And I want to share that with you, that there is so much available to you. And one of the sayings that I love to share from Carl Jung is, the unconscious will direct your life, and you will call it fate if you don't realize that. So in other words, you have to make a decision that this unconscious way of behaving, it's like, let me kind of figure out, let me get more conscious about my life. Because this is what happens. You kind of just go with the flow, like, okay. And then you think that's fate. You think that's normal. No, I want you to challenge those thoughts that come up for you daily and decide if that's what you want for your life. Yeah, I'm serious because this way of just going with flow, it will direct your life, and you'll be like, oh, this is the flow. But how about challenging them? Do you know the number of habits that we have just kind of decided, okay, we're going to go with it, that don't even apply to today? There were things that were started many years ago that we still continue today, and we haven't even questioned them. But they don't even apply to today. I'm teaching my kids now. I'm like, question everything. Seriously, question. Have that curiosity about everything. That's how you grow. All right, I wanted to share that with you. If you have any questions, post them. I'll definitely answer them. Thank you for listening. And listen, I want to invite you to this amazing online community that I have called Flourish. Listen, these women in this group they're doing amazing things. I'm going to post the comment here I'm going to post it so that you can see it. Listen, Flourish, the ladies in Flourish are doing amazing things. They are losing weight. They're improving their relationships. And guess what? The beautiful thing about improving your relationship, right? Regardless of what relationship you're in, the way we're solving this is the other person doesn't need to change. You're working on yourself and your relationships are improving. Seriously. It's an amazing feeling. Like mother-daughter relationships are improving. Husband and wife relationships are improving. Parent-child relationships are improving. It's just a beautiful feeling. And you know what it is? We're working on ourselves. Next month, you don't want to miss next month because guess what we're doing next month? We are working on ourselves. We're going to do self-love. Yes, we're going to be talking about self-love all the way. February is the month, Valentine's, all about love. But guess what? We're starting from loving ourselves. Because until you love yourself, you won't know how to love others. You love others because you're able to love yourself. It's hard to love others when you don't even know how to love you. So we're going to be doing all of that in the month of February. So you want to come in and start learning all of that. Listen, you're going to be a changed person. It's time for you to decide that you are going to get all that you need to get for yourself. Right now, some of you are just picking the crumbs. Why are you picking crumbs? Why are you picking crumbs? You need the whole entree for yourself. You need to decide that you deserve a better life. You need to decide that you need more for your life. Why not? Why are you deciding that this mediocre existence is what it's meant to be? No. There is so much more available to you. But you have to make that decision. And sometimes we'll say, oh, I'll think about it. Listen, this is not the time to be thinking about anything. Thinking about it is a way of delaying you from making a decision. Just make the decision, either say yes or no, and just move on. And this is something I want all of you to learn for yourselves. I want you to start making decisions right away. Stop this thing about, oh, I'll think about it. We do it to our kids. We say, oh, think about it. Most times when we say that, you know what that means? It means you really don't want to do it. I mean, let's be honest. Most times we say that to kind of get kids out of our head. Like, okay, I don't really want to discuss this right now. But I think for yourself, you owe it to yourself to make that commitment. And, whatever decision you make, just decide to support yourself on it. You can either say, I'm doing this or I'm not. Just make a decision. Don't think, oh, I'll think about it. You owe yourself much more. And when you make a decision, whatever that is, I want you to back yourself up. I want you to honor the commitment, whatever it is. When you make that commitment, I want you to honor that commitment that you make to yourself. It is so important. I mean, some of us are, just like I said, sleepwalking. Like, why should we be sleepwalking in life? Why? We owe it to ourselves to really, like I said, we should be eating the whole entree. We're not doing this, okay, I'm just having crumbs. I'm having leftovers. You deserve more. You deserve way more. So I've put the link in for Flourish. I'd love for you to take a look. Love to have you in Flourish. Listen, and the what you get for the monthly fee, oh my word, we over deliver in Flourish. We give you so much. And as soon as you start in Flourish, you're able to look at all the, the previous trainings and coaching. You get to see all of that. You ready to change your life in 2022? Seriously, you need to consider joining Flourish. It's like amazing. When you start to look at life and you decide, you know what, you want more for yourself, sometimes you can do that on your own. But sometimes you need someone to kind of help guide you. And that is what I'm helping my clients do. I'm helping guide them. Now they are making all the decisions. I'm empowering them to make the decisions, but I'm giving them tools and resources to help them, just allow themselves to become more of who they're meant to be in the world. And it's not easy. But guess what? I'm with them every step of the way. I mean, we had a coaching call yesterday. It was just, I mean, it's like I finished the call and I was just like, it's like I felt so full. Felt so full of joy. The women, the way they're showing up, what they're doing, they are making intentional decisions daily. Intentional decisions. And the beautiful thing is, because they are growing, because they are stepping up, guess what's happening? It's affecting everyone around them. In fact, one of them, her husband was like, whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. I mean, because they are seeing the difference. They're seeing the difference. So I invite you to join Flourish. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I will answer them. Have an amazing rest of the day. All right, take care. Bye.